Hey, this is Marcus Washington, MTC Media here, talking a little Georgetown basketball. So, as we found out a couple days ago, Thomas Sorber is going to have surgery. He's out for the season. So, the big question is, where does Georgetown go from here? How do they work around not having their best scorer, their true only low post threat, and their best rebounder, their best shot blocker, their best rim protector? We can go on and on and on and on and on. But despite the fact that Georgetown has UConn coming up, Marquette coming up, there are going to be ways that Ed Cooley can work around this. And it's going to start out by all his actions, all the Zoom actions. Now, instead of with Sorber, it would be with Drew Fielder. I would say this. I would love to see them get creative with the screen and roll and maybe go screen and roll with Epps or Mack along with Peavy. It doesn't always have to be Drew Fielder. It doesn't always have to be Jordan Burks. Use those guys. Use mismatches. Use things that you can exploit, inverting the offense. Because your best players now have shifted out to the perimeter. So why not post Peavy more in action? Why not go more 4 out 1 in or more staggers and those things, and having cross screens, having Fielder go across or Burks going across to get to some sort of post presence. The reason why I say that is because it would be different if Georgetown had guards or a wing that could penetrate, who would get his guy one-on-one, penetrate, get 2 feet in the paint. PV can do it sometimes. That's not who Epps is. It's not who Mack is. Those guys get open through action. They don't get open through, hey, I can beat my guy, which is so important in today's college basketball. I know a lot of people think that's more of an NBA thing, but it's not. There are times with that shot clock, when you get within 7 seconds, your guy just has to be better than the other guy. You cannot scheme and draw up everything. Not in today's college basketball. And frankly, not anything that has a shot clock. You can't do that. If you're a high school player or a high school coach that plays with the shot clock routinely, I've coached shot clock basketball on Under Armour. It's not the same as coaching non-shot clock basketball. So you got to have those guys. Well, Georgetown needs so many things in action to free those guys up. I think inverting offenses, running zoom actions, guard to guard, pick and pops, those things, using Fielder to stretch the floor. But those things come at a cost. Can I get enough, what I like to call possessions within a possession? That's getting offensive rebounds. Can I get multiple possessions in a possession playing that way? Probably not. So then what do I need? I need something that mimics a 4-out 1 in set. You can get to that in many ways, and you can get to that in many ways with some of the stuff that Georgetown already does. There's some, without giving too much away, there are some stagger actions that they run. There are actions that they run that end up mimicking 4-out 1 in. And so you need some of that too. Flip side also is, I think now we know Georgetown has to play faster. They don't really have 3-point shooters. They have guys who can make threes, which is different than having 3-point shooters. And playing faster will help them out. Again, the issue with playing faster is the lack of depth. Can you get something from already who hasn't played? They are getting as much as they can out of Curtis. They're getting as much as they can out of Drew McKenna, which 3 weeks ago I'm sure none of us could have seen. Now it's being able to get something out of Kayvon. Can you, at this point in the season, that young man works so hard. He works so hard. Can you get him in there? Can you find minutes for him? Can he respond? Again, it doesn't have to always be in points. Can he respond? If they can get to 8, then maybe they can press more. Because if you look at when Georgetown has pressed, they've been good, guys. That diamond press has been good for them. The problem is they haven't had the depth because of injuries and stuff to actually run it as much as they would like to run it. I'm telling you guys, if they had 1 or 2 more guys, even before the Sorber injury, if they had 1 or 2 more guys who could have contributed, you would see that diamond press more. You wouldn't have seen the number of games that Georgetown scored in the 60s, those would have dipped. I mean, they are really good at it. They just can't run it enough because of the lack of depth. So adjustments I would look for against UConn and Marquette, probably faster, probably more three-point attempts. And again, I'd run more stagger actions. I would, right now, I don't know how you run tight flex, because what longer, bigger teams will do against that tight flex now is they'll just switch everything. And that's what's going to happen. In fact, he tried to run tight flex, I think, in the Providence game, and that's all Providence did. You know, when you don't have Sorber out there, they'll just go ahead and switch all the actions. And again, part of that is because they don't feel like that they're switching into a mismatch. And my thing about it is, because it's a condensed floor, they're probably right. My thing is, get them in switch action further from the basket. And like I said, you can do that through pin downs. You can do that in staggers. There are ways that Georgetown can do that with the stuff that they're already doing. No one's asking Georgetown to reinvent the wheel. We're in February. You're not going to see this magical playbook pop up, and then next thing you know, Georgetown becomes something different. We are way too far down the road for that. But there are things that they naturally do already that you can tweak or weaponize, or you can flip the floor in order to do it. So again, mimicking and somehow in action getting the 4-out-1 in, weaponizing pins and staggers. And I would love to see them invert the offense a little bit and get those guys, a guy like Peavy, and weaponize him in the box. Already he's good in that mid-range and now at the three-pointer. So that is my way, if I'm Georgetown, to adjust to the Sorber injury. This is Marcus Washington, MTC Media.